most of the people in the Beltway media will never really talk about it too much. But here's Paul Ryan. He was with Fox's Bret Baier Monday night. And we're going to dig into this later in the program, but the Congressional Budget Office, which is a nonpartisan, basically numbers crunchers, if you will, came out with a report that 24 million people will lose their health insurance by 2020, 14 million by 2018. And yes, indeed, a feature, not a bug. And if you doubt those numbers, the White House, the Office of Budget Management, headed by Mick Mulvaney, former co-chair of the Freedom Caucus in the House, their numbers were a little bit different. They estimated 26 million people losing their health insurance by 2020. But here's Paul Ryan playing it off. I think this is a guy who looks like, to me, maybe we pass this thing in the House, then we blame the Senate. Senate not as accountable. They all have their different reasons that will work for them in 2018, and then we can go on to just, cutting taxes the old-fashioned way.
They actually, frankly, encourage. Even CBO was telling us, we stabilize the market, we lower premiums, it lowers the deficit, it saves money, and more importantly, of course they're going to say, if we're going to stop forcing people to buy something they don't want to buy, they're not going to buy it.
Okay.
That's why you have those uninsured numbers, which we all expected.
Mr. Speaker, if you're encouraged by this CBO report, what's a CBO report you're discouraged by?
No, I've seen a lot. I've been reading them all half my life.
Yeah.
But the point I'm saying is what CBO did was they validated. We are block granting Medicaid back to the states, saving $880 billion right there. This is an $883 billion tax cut for families and small businesses that helps lower their health care costs. And it saves money and reduces the deficit. So that's really good on all those points.
Now, first of all, I love the fact that he's like, I've been doing this for half my life. I've been reading CBO reports.
I've been trying to destroy poor people's health coverage for half my life.
And I'm not convinced that he doesn't read CBO reports like Mila doesn't read the stuff she's reading. Just like, she just like,
Yeah, I did the reading.
30 minutes reading.
Did the reading.
Done.
Chalk it.
But listen to what he just said. $880 billion worth of cuts, to Medicare. $883 billion worth of tax cuts. That's interesting. Those numbers are so close to each other. Yes, they basically deny millions of people, 24 million, 26, depending on if you use the White House or the CBO numbers, health care, and then they're able to provide all of these cuts to these small businesses and mom and pop folk who weirdly didn't have any taxes associated with the rise, with the development of Obamacare. Everybody knows that the vast majority of those goes to people making over $200,000 or $250,000 as a couple.
Backbone of the country.
And then, in fact, it's actually even the vast, the largest piece of the pie goes to people making, I don't even know what the numbers are, but it's like 0.01% of the population. But that aside, the idea that premiums go down is true several years out because all the people who would be paying the higher premiums, the premiums are so much higher that they can't afford it. So they just leave the market. It is, to use my belabored metaphor about a car without an engine. They're going to keep selling this car without an engine for long enough so that everybody who needs an engine in their car leaves the market. And then they can get rid of the hood and the entire front part of the car and just sell those, and it'll be cheaper.
It's called freedom. That's when Paul Ryan really does start to sound like someone that would just call this show.
The people who are going to save money on this are people who are age 35, living either in a rural or urban environment, making over $54,000 a year. Everybody else loses. But if you're in that sweet spot and you can stay there for an extended period of time, like, I don't know, cryogenically freeze yourself.
Yeah, you can stay 35.
I would recommend
Yes.
you de-age
20 years.
yourself and hit the income sweet spot, and it'll work out well for you. You know, I've been reading CBO reports and creating active fantasy life for over half of my
Right.
political career.
He's been writing CBO fan fiction. Hey, everybody. Sam Seder here.
Donald Trump is a bad guy. Believe me. It's true.
It is true. And you can subscribe to this channel by subscribing to this channel. It's true.